You know, we didn't domesticate cats, actually, they tamed us. Thousands of years ago, in the cradle of human civilization, when people first planted seeds and built permanent homes, came a silent visitor. It didn't bark, it didn't beg. It crept out of the wilderness with golden eyes and silent paws, and it stayed. This is the story of how cats went from wild predators to our companions, our obsessions, and, well, our furry overlords. Not by force, not by training, but by choice. So, around 9,000 years ago in the Fertile Crescent, what is now the Middle East, humans began storing grain. And, you know, grain attracted rodents. And, well, rodents attracted predators. And among them was the African wildcat, Felis lybica. These wildcats weren't hunting humans. Nope, they were hunting mice. And people noticed. A creature that controlled pests and didn't demand anything in return. They weren't pets, they weren't owned, they were tolerated. And you know, that was enough. The cats that were calmest around humans, well, they stuck around. The ones who weren't, they fled. Generation by generation, a new kind of cat emerged. Slightly friendlier, slightly fluffier, still fiercely independent. Unlike dogs, who were shaped by human needs, cats shaped themselves. They adapted to us on their own terms, and honestly, we let them. In ancient Egypt, cats became more than just useful, you know. They became sacred. They were protectors of the home, and even the afterlife. And get this, they had their very own goddess, Bastet. Killing a cat in Egypt was, well, punishable by death. They were mummified, worshipped and painted on tomb walls. Cats weren't just part of the home, they were part of the soul. But their journey didn't end in temples. They spread on ships, along trade routes, across continents. Everywhere they went, they played the same game. Be useful, be elegant, be untouchable. In the Middle Ages, their luck turned. Associated with witches and the devil, cats were persecuted in Europe, but nature doesn't care for superstition, and when the Black Death arrived, rats flourished, and cats came back. Across different cultures, cats took on new meanings. In Islam, cats were admired for their cleanliness and were welcomed into homes and mosques. The Prophet Muhammad is even said to have had a favourite cat named Muetza. In Japan, the maneki neko, the beckoning cat, became a symbol of good fortune. And you know, today, cat cafes dot the urban landscape where people pay to sit and relax with feline company. Even Vikings kept cats aboard ships to manage rats and may have associated them with the goddess Freya, who rode a chariot pulled by two giant cats. Wherever cats went, they adapted to the culture and were adapted by it. Today, in our modern cities, cats have carved out a niche all their own. They patrol alleyways, park benches, backyards and rooftops. They're companions, yes, but also part of the urban ecosystem. They keep rodent populations in check. They move silently through concrete jungles. And in some places, entire communities care for them, feeding and neutering feral colonies without ever trying to cage them. They are both domestic and wild. Science has even started to uncover how cats manipulate us. Take the so-called Solicitation Purr. It's a sound cats make to get what they want from humans. A blend of a regular purr with a high-pitched cry, mimicking the sound of a baby's wail, and it works. Studies show humans are more likely to respond quickly to this purr, often without realizing why. It's emotional hacking, feline style. Today, cats are among the most popular pets on Earth. But here's the thing, they're still not truly domesticated. Genetically, a house cat is nearly identical to its wild ancestor, and behaviourally, most cats can still survive in the wild. They don't depend on us, they've simply chosen to stay. They rub against our legs, they stare into our souls. They bring us dead birds as gifts, and somehow we adore them for it. Because cats aren't loyal in the way dogs are. They're not obedient, they're not predictable. But when a cat chooses to sit beside you, to blink slowly or curl into your lap, it feels like an honour. It feels earned. They didn't become pets, they became partners. We didn't tame cats, we built a world where they decided to join us. And now, 9,000 years later, they rule the internet, our living rooms and arguably our hearts. The Wildcat never left, it just moved in. Subscribe for more stories about the creatures who never needed us, but still chose to stay.